All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Old Moon Podcast, episode 9. We are at right now, almost into the double digits, boys.
Dude, that's crazy.
I know. It's literally insane. Think of all the content. All right. I am your host, Blue Squadron, and of course, I am joined as always with my co-host here, Jay-Kun. Why don't you go first this time?
Oh shoot. Hi, my name is Jay-Kun, VT, your co-host to the Old Moon Podcast.
You could not have been that surprised that I was going to do that. Like, at best...
He's like, I always go second. Wait, you're throwing it off.
Yeah, at best, I was knocking you up 15 seconds.
If even that. I'm not good at the intros.
Right on. And Tiltus?
Hi, I'm Tiltus TV. I am the shot caller for the Alliance Solace, T1, T2 Guild, and casual BDO streamer.
Casual BDO streamer.
I would say I was better at it, but I can't stick to a schedule worth of shit right now. So I get my Node War streams in, and I'm like, all right, I did it, boys. I made it.
I mean, I woke up this morning and I was like, Tiltus? Like, because normally he's the one pinging me about the podcast. And I heard like nothing all day. I was like, I think he might be dead.
I was asleep. No, I was dead asleep. I 3 hours of sleep for 48 hours was not doing it. And then I just slept all day today. And now my sleep schedule is completely screwed for the next 2 days. So
no, just force yourself to sleep longer tonight. Easy peasy.
See, I think I was going to do the opposite. I'm just going to stay up all the way through tomorrow. And then after Node War, just pass out.
Why would you do that?
I got to reset it. I'm screwed.
Kids these days, I tell you. All right, guys. So we have a lot of interesting topics to talk about this day because there's been a lot of stuff released this week. It's been one piece of content after another this week that they've either been teasing or releasing or whatever, or what have you. And the first thing that I want to discuss is this Woosa Awakening. Okay, because I think we're all very excited for it. I had just tagged Woosa. And really? Absolutely, yeah, I've been absolutely loving. I listened to Adele, I Set Fire in the Rain for like an hour and a half last night while I was grinding. I'm like zooming in on my character while she's using Stormfall. I'm like, oh god, it's so cool. While I'm doing bugs, it was just so much fun. Gosh, the class of Succession has been so much fun. But they teased the Awakening trailer this week, and then they said it comes out on the 31st.
31st, yes.
Yeah, okay, so it's been a while since they teased this stuff. So has the hype kind of died down, or are you guys you were getting demoralized for a while? I don't know about you guys, but for me, I was getting demoralized. I was like, man, the hype's really dead. And then they gave one 10 little baby 10-second teaser trailer, and I was back on the hype train. I was in on it.
Part of this has got the blue hooks in deep. They're just like, oh, let him calm down just a little bit, and then they're just like, yeah, I got
they
you,
play with my emotions.
over here.
Jay knows what I like. It's brutal. Jay, what are you most excited about? I know you have to be excited about Woosa Awakening. What are some of the things that most excite you about the teaser trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I main Awakening Woosa, so I'm definitely excited. And for me, I always prioritize aesthetics over grind efficiency. And judging from the small teaser we got, Woosa Awakening is definitely bringing the aesthetics. And, in contrast to Woosa Succession, where she had the concept of, controlling the weather, the wind, the thunder, Awakening seems to more focus on the concept of a moon and water magic. And, through history and media, the moon has always been, sort of closely associated with the tides and the ocean. So I'm super excited because Avatar: The Last Airbender was my favorite.
Oh my god, bro! I knew he was gonna say something.
And waterbending was my favorite type of
I knew he was gonna say some water bending bullshit.
So yeah, regardless of whether she's a good grinder or not, I'm definitely gonna main Awakening as soon as it comes out. So
yes, sir. Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be super fun. Tiltus, are you excited about it, or has the hype died for you?
Dude, iframers. I'm dying. No more. There's gonna be even more of them now. I think the class the teaser trailer looked super sick. Actually, I like that it's changed a little bit. It looks like it's gonna be potentially a little bit more static, focused on large AoEs kind of around it in front of it, which I think is a good change from its current pre-awaken / Succession playstyle. And that's just speculative off the teaser trailer, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool actually. If I wasn't stuck in my old boomer ways, I would probably tag that or Megu. So even though I hate them both because they're iframers.
I wouldn't consider, to be honest with you, I wouldn't really consider Woosa too much of an iframer.
Bro, I need to show you some Max clips later.
Bro, I am an awakening witch. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah, you guys have iframes?
Yeah, you guys have iframes. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I wouldn't consider her too much of an iframer. I would say that she's definitely, she likes the SA trade and frontal guard trade a little bit more than a class like Dark Knight, for sure. Definitely some longer animations there. But honestly, yeah. I was still concerned with the Awakening trailer when I first saw it. But then I think Jay's a tricky little devil. The developers like to tease these skills that are like these massive AoEs, super slow casting, and you're like, God, that is the coolest, least functional skill I have ever seen in my life. Yeah. Like, that is, if the skill is actually that slow, boy, is that going to be useless. So like, I don't think that the skills are actually that slow. I do think that they tease the correct AoE, but I'm actually curious what you guys think. I've heard a couple people say that they really want Woosa Awakening to be this support style class, a lot like caster, like Awakening caster. And as much as I would like that to be a thing, I don't know, I just don't see it happening. But like, then I see the trailer and I see these big AoEs and I'm like, there's no shot that that's like just doing damage, right? Like, that's got to buff your allies too. I feel like it's got some of the biggest AoE in the game that we have absolutely seen. Jay, do you think it's possible? I mean, you're the Woosa main. Do you think it's possible that the Awakening kit comes equipped, like it's supposed to be more of like a support caster?
Yeah, I mean, I would really like to see more classes with party and support utility. That's one of the main reasons why I played Witch for 5 years and have a Shy as a tag. I love being able to contribute to my party since, I want this game to be more social. I think a lot of people like to say that BDO is kind of like a solo MMO at times, and I can definitely see why. So I do hope that they implement more party content in the future, and with it, classes with party utility. As for what we might expect from Awakening Woosa in terms of support, I mean, I would like to see maybe zone type spells. So for example, maybe placing down pools of water that might heal, maybe it might remove debuffs, maybe give you additional stats, or maybe super armor while you're standing inside the pool.
Let's calm down.
Yeah, chill. Yeah, don't. They're listening to the podcast, Jay. You can't throw ideas out there.
Break large scale real quick.
You can't just float an idea like that out there. The CMs are like, okay, we're taking notes. We're taking notes. Like,
I mean, as for other aspects, we might expect from Awakening. So I remember the devs were saying that the two sisters will have movement abilities similar to their Succession counterparts. So in other words, Woosa Awakening might receive more fluid and acrobatic movement that Megu has, and Megu Awakening will receive more, the precise and quick movement of Woosa.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm interested to see if it's actually a moon thematic. As an astronomy teacher myself, I would absolutely love the moon thematic. I swear, if you make an astrology joke, Jay, I will silence you. But yeah, no, I think that like it's like Diana. Diana was also a really cool champion in League of Legends for the same reason.
League, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, dude. The whole moon and the tides thematic is really cool, and I like that they kind of went that way with it.
I will say on that subject that there's a good chance that it will have some utility for your teammates, because right now you have Corsair, which also has kind of that same thought process, water whale type thing, which also heals and buffs your allies as well. So I could definitely see the AoEs having some other form of utility besides just DPS.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it's going to be like a full-on support class, a lot Witch.
No. It'll be like Corsair, I think, where it's like you have one or two skills that buff, heal, whatever your allies, and then the rest is DPS.
Right. I just feel like if you look at Witch's kit, the way they designed it, you saw some heals. You've got PA in the pre-awakening kit. You've got speed spell and stuff like that. And then the only thing that the awakening kit really gives you, don't insult my intelligence. But you have all these actual usable and functional skills that they have not forgotten about in the pre-awakening kit of Witch. And then there's really only one support skill in the Awakening kit, and that's kind of like your class buff. Gives your allies the defensive aspects of your class buff, which is pretty cool. But also, I think more people are expecting more of a support style Awakening Witch. So, like, it's possible they go the other way with Woosa, where, like, most of the Awakening kit is, like, this support kind of style thing. And then the pre-Awakening kit really only has Chrysanth, where you're adding, like, 30% move speed to your allies, which admittedly definitely has a big impact, but isn't crazy. Now, one thing I do want to ask about is, man, the 31st. Did you guys think we were going to... Is this blazingly fast, or is this just absolutely
faster than we expected? Definitely.
For the Awakening, I mean, we haven't even gotten to the Land of the Morning Light question yet. This is just for Awakening Woosa.
Sorry.
I mean, keep in mind, Woosa,
That's
like Jay's like, man, blazingly fast, 7 months. Man, they actually could not have gotten it out any faster. Man, that bar is low. Holy moly.
The expansion.
Stay with me, Jay.
Slower than we expected. My bad.
Yeah, no, I think that the Awakening definitely slower than we expected. The question is, do you guys think that now that we know we're getting it on the 31st of this month, do you guys think that the Megu Awakening is going to be like right behind it? How close behind do you think the Megu Awakening is going to be, Tiltus?
I would like to see it at like 2 weeks. 2 weeks to a month, I think, is what I would like to see, just for the sake of the release schedule of Woosa and Megu, because Megu was like 2 weeks, 4 weeks after Woosa was released, right? Somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
So I would like to see them at least stick to that schedule. It gives enough hype for Woosa, and then gives enough hype for Megu coming out right after it. It'll pull more players into the game for sure as well. But I do think it took them way too long to get it out for whatever reason. I don't know why it took so long. I feel like this is the longest we've waited for an Awakening yet. So I'm a little surprised.
It's been kind of a long wait. Jay, how long do you think before we get the Megu Awakening?
Megu, well, they did say in the dev notes it will shortly be after Woosa Awakening, but what I think it might be during the Land of Morning Light release, because they did mention it was out in June. We don't know the exact date in June, but maybe it will line up with Land of Morning Light release.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the developers here, I'm thinking, all right, so we hit them with the Woosa Awakening, then we wait like half a month to a month, we hit them with the Land of the Morning Light, then we wait another half a month to a month, and we hit them with the fucking Megu Awakening, right? Bam, bam, bam. And then we actually don't have to release any technically new fucking content until August. Because
they did say they're releasing another class at the end of the year, so
Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, they also said we were going to have climbing, and that the blue battlefield was going to be here. Do I need to go out that the guild drill was going to be relevant? Like that Balanos Siege would help with lag in Siege? Like they said a lot of things. I can say things too. Look at that. Like, we're going to get the next expansion in 2 months. Look at that. I said it. So like I think that if they follow their release pattern for the Woosa and the Megu, I think Woosa Awakening comes out, and then we're immediately hit with the Megu about a month and a half to 2 months later. And that's why they've scheduled Land of the Morning. I love how they set Land of the Morning Light. They're like June release, and we're all like June 1st, and they're like June 32nd. You know what I mean? Like whenever they say like a month, I'm like, it's the last day of that month. There is no shot we're getting it before the last day of that month. So I think that we're gonna get I think we're gonna get Woosa Awakening, and at the end of June we'll get the Land of the Morning Light, and then at the end of July we will get Megu. But I mean, it could be a little bit sooner than that. They might push it up a little bit sooner because the Heidel Ball is gonna be coming up here soon as well. So there is that to worry about. All right, so we talked all about the Woosa Awakening here. Now let's pivot over. We haven't talked about Land of the Morning Light in probably, what has it been, like 2 months? Just because they've been leaving us on red. Now, Jay, I'm going to ask, is this...
Faster than we expected.
Is this blazingly fast? How fast did we get this? Did we get this faster than expected, or do we feel like this is like basically right on time, or what here? And honestly, just for that, I'm going to Tiltus first. Go ahead.
Nice. I think I'm surprised that we got it as quickly as we did. I fully expected another Odalita expansion where it just takes a year to come out. after getting announced, or KR getting it. So I'm really happy that we're getting it now. I still want to see things move to a global release for expansions, but I'm really happy that we're getting Morning Light so quickly, because we were the first time we talked about it, we were saying 6 months minimum.
Easily.
We're getting it in 3, so pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, like I'm pretty excited about it. Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting maybe in between Morning Light and in between Odalita and Mountains of Eternal Winter, because Mountains of Eternal Winter was 4 months, Odalita was 8 months, so I'm just thinking, right in the middle, maybe 6 months for Land and Morning Light. But we got it in half that time, which is 3 months, which is the fastest a new expansion has ever come out. So, yeah.
God, the bar for this is so impossibly low that we actually could not have been disappointed. Like, if we had gotten it in November, we'd have been like, look how fast it came out.
Came out right on time, just like we all anticipated.
Bro, we need to raise our standards for these people in the office over there. They make billions of dollars off of the game. Like, I think that, we definitely need to move towards this global release pattern, man. Like, because the
for
kind
expansions.
I mean, like this. I mean, and for classes, bro. Don't lower your expectations, Tiltus. Don't just specify for everything.
So
global
I
release,
do
all
want
of
to
it.
specify, because I don't want a global patch in this game anymore. I want a Western patch and an Eastern patch. I want the East to have one type of balance that they like to play with, and I want the West to have the type of balance that we like to play with, because the two are not similar. That's what I want. That being said, I want global release for all content. I want all the classes to come out at the same time, because I'm still in the dark about Morning Light. I have refused to spoil a single thing about the expansion for myself yet, so that I can play through it all and enjoy it as a brand new player. We talked about this. I like going into it blind. I've completely avoided spoilers on it, other than like the life skilling stuff and that's bosses. Yeah, global release for expansion of classes. Get rid of the global patch.
No. Global should be global release for all content.
Yep.
As far as balance goes, buddy, we can't even fucking get one balance patch. So you want them to do? You want them to hire an entire another balance team? That's like 3 more people. That's like 3 more people they gotta hire, bro. To balance like how many classes do we have in this game? 20 something? Yeah,
26.
I mean, that's at least 2 people. Like, at least do it. Like,
when they hit 30, they'll hire another one.
Nah, but I think we should move towards a global release for most of our content in the game, almost all of it, because it kind of takes the hype away, which is now what I'm going to touch on a little bit. And now, Tiltus, you said you haven't you've been la 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 with your fingers over your ears
the whole time.
The whole time. Jay, are we a little less hyped now for it? Now that it's coming behind the other region?
Well, I mean, I think, when it does come to new expansion releases, I do agree that because it is being released first in another region, players will know what to expect before it comes to the rest of the region. So, that's probably the main reason why the hype is going down. But at the same time, I think it depends on whether what the player sees, what they want for the game. I'm personally on the other side where I know this expansion is all about end game PvE content, so I'm like super hyped for the content that's to come, right? So one thing I do want to add, I know from a lot of my friends voiced their opinion on the expansion not releasing with any grind spots or party content, so that's a big concern for them, and I definitely agree that sucks. But I do think Pearl Abyss is trying something new here with this expansion, right? We haven't seen anything like this before, and I do think trying something new is always a good thing. Whether it succeeds or not is a different question. So I do hope that it does succeed.
All right. Now, Tiltus, I know you've been sheltering your little ears about the expansions, but you had to have heard rumblings here and there with the videos and stuff. What are you most excited about? What are you most excited about in the new expansion?
Right now, the thing that most excites me is, number one, I like the concept of the PvE bosses. I'm excited about that because it's something we don't currently have, except for Dark Rifts, which are a joke. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm also excited about the crystals that are coming out, because I'm hoping that they're going to change things a little bit for the way the game is currently played, kind of the meta and all that kind of stuff, min-maxing and all that. And I think one of the most important things about like getting a global release for expansion is all the theory crafting that comes out with it when it comes out. Because right now, like if you're Jay and you know everything about the Land of the Morning Light, then there's no theory crafting that you can do, right? You already kind of know what's going to be best, what the best places to grind, what the best bosses to do, what the best crystal setups are, that kind of stuff. And the best part about new expansions is the mystery of everything, finding out what works, and we don't get that. So that's why I've been la-la-laing myself, because I'm like, I want to have a faux theory crafting experience. I want to pretend that I can figure out my own min-max and not have to just go off what KR's already discovered.
Right on. Jay, what's your most exciting thing about the expansion?
Okay, I might be on the minority here, but the lore. I'm excited about
that.
The
doesn't surprise me at all.
And where did Blue go? Hello.
Blue's hanging out with Basil. They had to go do something. They're wandering off.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, although the expansion
is surgery today, give me a break, bro.
To sort of focus on, I think the cutscenes aren't skippable, right? From what we've seen, so at the same time, maybe that's going to get players more hyped about the lore. But I am excited to find out. I haven't really explored any of the lore yet because you can't read Korean, and so I'm excited to see like the voice acting. I really love when MMOs do like voice acting, because it makes the story a lot more immersive than if it wasn't. So yeah.
Have y'all played through the Balanos voice acted story recently?
Yeah. I had to play through it on my Guardian because they forced me through it. It's like they literally chained me to the chair and made me listen. It was miserable. But
Jay, what about you?
I have not, but I should probably.
So the first half was like kind of boring and not that entertaining, and then once you got to the part with the goblin, why can't I think of his name? The goblin boss.
Gaiath?
Yeah, Gaiath. That whole section was, I thought, really interesting, and the cutscenes I thought were really cool for that whole section. So I'm excited. I'm actually more excited now after playing that for the voice acting and the lore aspect of the new expansion than I was before. So I'm kind of on board with you on that one.
Yeah, I loved the Mountain of Eternal Winter. Was like the first time I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this whole questing crap a go here, and I actually really enjoyed it because of my homie. I'm blanking on the actor's name. Who's the homie from Mountain of Eternal Winter?
Lando?
Yes, Lando, my man.
Lando, yeah.
Lando was an amazing character.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a really cool. It was the first time they had voice acted stuff, but I still feel like that our developers never really grasped that like 3rd or 4th grade education, where they told you where they told you that like, hey, that first sentence, like that whole opener, you have to like grab their attention, like the attention grabber.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't grip your attention with the storyline. Okay.
Yeah.
Like they still don't get it. Like, I don't know. The developers were like, what if we start off like way down here and then we ramp it up very slowly over the course of 185 fucking quests? Like, no, dude, like we want to jump straight in. We want some action. We want to feel attached to characters. We want to just like get in on it. And it's just, they just haven't gotten that yet. And I'm really hoping that with the Land of the Morning Light, we've got finally some interesting quest content that really grabs your imagination and makes you pick a side. And please don't make that side good, fundamentally good versus fundamentally evil. Let us like make the choice for ourselves who is the like protagonist and who is the antagonist of the story. For example, don't make Calpheon the villain necessarily. That make Calpheon has done some bad stuff, but also make Valencia, they've done some bad stuff too. But whose side are you on here? Like both of them did it for different reasons, you know what I mean? Don't just make one the objectively evil. Part of the reason that our current Calpheon questline sucks so much, or the Serendia questline, even though it's voice acted, you still just don't care because there's one guy and he's objective. I still don't even remember that guy's name. I've literally run that quest, Jordine, 55 times, still don't know the dude's name. That's how little I care about that dude, because he's like very obviously the antagonist. He's the enemy. And then who's that the woman at the end with the Zarka? Like she comes into
Elezra?
Zarka and she like, yeah, Elezra comes in. You're like, oh my god, her again? No way. I'm like, no way.
I love that blue face. It's like Macaulay Culkin in the mirror.
Every time I do the Succession quest line, wait, no, again? Like, dude, like we couldn't have mixed it up at all. Like, please don't make them objectively evil and objectively good. Let us choose for ourselves how we feel the morality should pan out. You know, make it moral gray areas. Make it grip us with like the storyline, whether it be the Horde and the Alliance. And World of Warcraft did a great job with that. Or Noxus is a perfect example.
Noxus is a great example.
Yeah, Noxus is a perfect example in League of Legends. Like, let us choose. Let us choose.
Demacia is the objectively good, and Noxus is the objectively bad.
Ooh.
But Demacia is full of racists that hate mages, and then Noxus is just like, we're just a power complex. Like, we just conquer everything around us, and then we make their lands better actually after we conquer them. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, Demacia seems like this land of like goodness and inherent goodness, and then you look around, you're like, man, everyone's kind of like super white and like doesn't cast any magic at all.
Like, wait a minute.
And then they're like, yeah, we have slaves, and you're like, what? Let's back up for a minute. And it's all the magic users and stuff, and you're like, oh my god, this place is awful. So like, you have to make the choice. Like, is Demacia the good? And then you look over at Noxus, and it looks all evil and decrepit, but really their motto is just like strength above all. You know, you work really hard, you can succeed in this no matter who you are. You know what I mean? And like, that can be an absolutely brutal way of life and a brutal way of looking at things, but both societies have their moral complexities. And I like that. I think that's so fucking cool, man. Can we just get that in BDO? Like, that's what we want. I think Land of the Morning Light, I think I'm reaching here. They're running on Windows Vista over there in the office. There's no chance that we're going to get
somebody to take a screen grab of them on Vista and the Pearl Abyss. just for the podcast. Just so I can flash it on screen whenever Blue says that. XP.
Windows before that?
XP.
Oh, God, brother.
Service Pack 3.
Yeah, but at least we're moving in the right direction. We've got things voice acted now. They're starting to realize that that's what we want, right? And so, yeah, that's an excellent direction to be moving in. And I love how you guys all talked about all that crap. Like, we're gonna be with the grind bosses or the lore and stuff. There isn't a single person that I have talked to yet, and I've talked to like 50 people. There's not a single person that is excited about the thing that I'm excited about. The boat content, bro. We get a new boat. Don't laugh at me. Don't you laugh at me. We are getting a new boat, and I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna like it.
The boat does look sick as fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, it doesn't. It's a fucking box floating on the water. But like,
it looks cool to me. I like the way it looks aesthetically.
It's awful looking. It's miserable, but like it's something, you know what I mean? Like, as somebody that's been deprived of boat content for a minute, I am very excited about it. I'm also most excited about the fact that I built blue gear for the correct Carrack. Because they came out with this boat and the developers literally said, yeah, this boat's gonna be like super PvP oriented, it's gonna be geared towards PvE. And I was like, all the people that built blue gear for the Valors and the Volantes, in your face. Idiots. I can't believe you've done this. So I'm curious to see how they've actually balanced it, to be honest with you, without making the Valor and the Volante like super, I don't know, unusable Carracks.
Balanced boat content? Question mark?
Don't say balance and boat content don't go together. Mistake and boat content. You can.
I wonder if you can equip the null on the new ship.
You know, that sounds like something that they would have had to actually have thought through and play tested first. So like, probably not. But that's okay, because there's only like 15 people with an Evanurus null in North America. So like, there's probably closer to 30 now. But like, it's even still. I heard about it, and I think the boat actually requires like 250,000 crow coins. So I'm like, oh, I'll get there in a year and a half from now.
Good luck. I wish you the best.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't.
Voters.
I know. But I am still really excited about it. I might be the only person on the whole server that's excited about it, but I am excited.
No, it's you and the 30 people that got that fucking boat thing or whatever.
No, most of the people that build boats, I talk to them. They're like, I'm not building that crap. Like I have full +10 blue gear on a Volante. That thing invalidates my entire my entire enterprise on the ocean. I'm like, idiot. God. Imagine building the wrong boat. Couldn't be me. I built a Valor first like an idiot and then had to go back and build an Advance. But like I said, I think there's a lot of stuff to be excited. There's a lot of stuff to be excited for in the land of the morning light. Now we're going to move on to one of Tiltus's subjects here that we didn't quite get to last week. So Tiltus, you wanted to talk about the idea of side progression. The idea of progressing your alts, making more than one Dream Horse, making more than one Carrack. How does side progression currently feel to you in BDO? Tiltus, I'll obviously let you take it first since it was your...
So sideways progression, I think, is a really good way to extend the longevity of a game and extend the amount of time that you're really logging into the game and actively playing. BDO has this weird like love-hate relationship with sideways progression, because obviously you have things like the tagging system, which make it really easy for you to level alts and keep your alts geared at all times, learn additional classes and that kind of thing, which is a great way to extend players' time in the game. The Dream Horses, we talked about this last week too. Dream Horse is another good way. I think most players will have a T8 courser bare minimum. And I think they, some players are like, well, I'm not going for a Dream Horse. That's just money that I don't have because I'm doing gear or whatever. But I think I would like to see that system fleshed out a little bit more to make it more enticing for players to go for it, rather than just, Unicorn, Doom, and Peggy. I don't know, something. The boat content's dead. That's dead content to me. That's not sideways progression. Sorry, Blue. I know. And then I think life skilling is another thing that is sideways progression. And we did a whole podcast about life skills, but I think that also needs to be buffed just a little bit, changed somehow to make it more enticing for players to life skill. Because like 90% of my guild does not touch life skills, and I can't convince them to do it. Even with the tap time, I'm like, please go get 20-second tap time for forts. I'm like, maybe. My defense team is my life skillers. The offense team is like, me press button, do damage. So
number bigger, good.
Yeah, number bigger, good, right? Mm-hmm. So I would like to see more sideways progression stuff that exists in the game. I think a really cool aspect, Blue, you're already kind of doing it, is take something from RuneScape and make like almost like an Iron Man character, where it's like, all right, this character is locked into limited trading, limited, I can't think of the word that I want to use, but it's limited in what benefits it can get from other players as it goes through the game. I think would be an interesting idea for sideways progression to help people just invest more into doing things that aren't just rotating in circles endlessly for, their 80 bill accessory or whatever.
And does the side progression feel good though for you? Like when you're doing like these life skills on these other characters, does it feel meaningful to you? Does it feel good? Okay, why not?
No. Because most of the time I already have a character with better life skills on it that I could be using. So there's not, outside of the tap time, there's not any incentive for me to make like a new character that can do this one life skill better than all the other ones. I don't know. It's sideways progression is kind of weird in BDO. That's what I was trying to talk about. It's like it has potential, like with the tagging system and with life skills and all the different classes and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel particularly rewarding to play it, other than I'm tired of my current class, I want to make a new one and try this other new class out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I generally agree. Jake, do you feel like side progression feels good? Do you feel like rewarded for progressing other characters other than the main one that you're playing?
I don't think it really compares to your first time leveling a new class.
Jay's like, it's like doing heroin. You can't get that. You can't get back to that first time.
I have described BDO like that before. Yeah.
But as for like how rewarding leveling a new class is, I think Seasons does a pretty good job of sort of encouraging veteran players to try out a new class while giving out decent rewards. But beyond that, it's fine. It's fine for the season rewards are fine.
Yeah, I think the season rewards are geared way more towards newer players than current players, which is fine. That's what it should be.
Can I speak my truth?
I don't think it's very rewarding for old players. That's why they have the quest skip that's now in there, because they know veteran players don't want to do the quests. They want to skip and get power leveled and go tap all their Tuvala gear up and get their rewards and be done with it in a week. So,
can I speak my truth on that? You can't laugh at me though. You cannot laugh at me. Today, today I was walking on my Ranger and I happened to stumble into Fugar, and I happened to click on the season rewards button, like, you know, the end of season rewards, because I haven't actually looked at this in like a super long time, even though I graduate every season. I don't actually do seasonal. What I didn't realize is that Fugar gives you a certificate whether you graduate seasonal and like do it or not. And today I picked up like 5 100 stacks. Because I just had all of the
all the certificates just hanging out,
sitting in my inventory, and was like, oh my god, I can just get, oh my god. And I just kept going. I was like, oh my god, there's another one. So I got a bunch of 100 stacks today. I didn't even like, oh man, bro, I just forgot to pick them up. But as far as making the side progression meaningful, I actually really enjoy side progression. Like, and I've come to enjoy it more recently as I've realized that, like, I like to play more classes than just the one. Like, I'm basically cycling through all of the classes as I try to get better at shoutcasting and understanding all of the classes and like what goes into them, and like memorizing all their skills and stuff. So as I cycle through the classes, I'm kind of just working on 20-second tap time on all the classes. Finished up a second Krogdalo set. I got my third Dream Horse together. So like I have all kinds. I have 2 Carracks. I'm one of the very few people on the like. Yeah, there's a number of people that have multiple Carracks on the server, but like I would say the number comparatively to the larger player base is very, very low. And moving on to this next topic that Tiltus had talked about. Tiltus, you had asked about when is the time for a character to build their first Carrack, and I gotta say, never.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Never is the perfect time to build your first Carrack. Unless you're like super into boat content, there's just never a reason to build a Carrack. Jay, do you regret building your Carrack?
No. I actually I liked exploring. I love BDO as a game, and so I just love exploring like the many different aspects. But at the same time, you know, I personally think, you know, even as me, I do have a Valor Carrack. Don't make fun of me. I do have +10 blue gear.
Well, Valor's fine. There's only one. Yeah, there's only one incorrect answer for the Carracks, so like I can't make fun of you for that one.
Yeah. I even you know, bartered enough to unlock all the barter routes, which you need at least about 20k barters as well. You know, but you know,
okay, so you've done a good amount of boat content.
I have, and even with all that, despite that, you know, the ocean content is so lackluster that I think you should only really go for Carracks if you want to do the ocean content. I think that's the best reason.
Well, even then, you take a new player. Should we really be ever encouraging a new player to really go for any amount of boat content? So like, I think the biggest fundamental problem with boat content is that it's so hard to get into. I mean, they made it basically impossible. I mean, like, they could literally blind monkey like could literally go to centaurs. A blind monkey could go to centaurs with a keyboard and make like 600 mil an hour. And we have honestly, we have so many other aspects of the game, whether it be hunting or gathering, that you can just step into with absolutely no mastery. With absolutely no mastery at all, and make hundreds of millions of silver an hour. But boat content, you're like, okay, so you're gonna start off, and this is the fun part. You're gonna make negative like 3.2 bill right out the gate, and then for the first 2 weeks, you're gonna continue to lose money to a point, and then at a certain point, you will technically be positive in your third week, but you'll only have made back about 20 million net silver at that point. Like, it's awful. It takes weeks to get into. It's really complicated. There's no real reason for a new player to get into boat content unless you're like really dedicated to, I want to sail the high seas. Like, if you're one of those Sea of Thieves people that are coming over to BDO and you're like, I can't wait. Boy, are you going to be disappointed. But also, it's going to take you forever to get to a point where you actually want to be on the ocean. I think they need to make it like way easier to get into. Of all the problems with the current boat content, it's just too difficult. And I'm not talking about like, okay, you need to decrease the time it takes to build the character. No. Like, I understand that the character needs to be time gated. It needs to be feel like you worked for it. I mean, like, up front, players should be able to make 200. This is going to sound crazy. 200 whole million silver an hour bartering with like an Etheria sailboat. Okay, and then by the time that they hit their carrack, they should be able to make 400 million silver an hour. And they should be able to do that for as long as they want.
Yeah.
As long as they want. Because there's really actually just no reason that they shouldn't be able to do that anymore in the game. There's really no reason to kind of gate that. But yeah, you had asked about it, and I have strong feelings about like the boat content in the game. It's just too hard to get into. No one wants to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's the other weird thing is like, in order to begin that process, you have to invest into a boat in some form or fashion. You've got to go get a boat to begin with. And then the beginning boat, you can't even operate the cannons on.
Yeah.
You can't operate the cannons on a frigate or a sailboat. You have to have somebody else come out there with you and shoot your cannons with you. So
yeah, you can upgrade it, but like in order to upgrade it, you have to actually go out and shoot sea monsters
right, you
yourself.
have to go kill things. Right, exactly. So it's this weird situation of like, it exists, but there's a high barrier to entry for very little rewards. If a player came to me fresh out of seasonal today and said, hey, is it worth getting a boat and doing any of the boat content? I would look them dead in the face and be like, absolutely not. Like, go to Centaurs. Like, there's so many other things. Like, everything is better than boat content, if we're being honest. You want to go for a dream horse? Go for a dream horse. You want to invest in Manoskier for life skilling? Do that. You want to, make a whole bunch of alts and, learn all the classes of the game? Do that. It'll make you a better PvPer. The boat is like, all right, dude, I'm out of content. I need something to do. I guess I'll go make a boat. Like,
yeah, and even then, it's just like, I kind of just want to grief myself for a few months. It's just miserable, man. Like, I don't know. Like, they need to make it easier, more approachable for players. I understand that they want to make sure that it is difficult. Like, it should not be easy, but it also shouldn't grief you, like, super hard, is my concern. So, like, yeah, I just think that that could be done better. Okay, so and you talked about when should a player go for like their second character and things. Again, never. You really just statement. Yeah, exactly. See previous statement. Again, like, you build the correct boat the first time, just build the advance and be done with it. There's really no reason to have another boat because the PvP boat content is also dead. Like Naval Fame. Have you guys ever accidentally gone negative on your Naval Fame?
No.
You wouldn't dare. You would not dare go negative on your Naval Fame. It's one of the worst systems in the entire game. And actually, I have seen a few Reddit posts and forum posts about this week, which is why I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Is like, I actually, so are you guys aware of how the Naval Fame system currently works?
Yeah, it's like going red, right? Except for boat.
Yeah, it's
you
like
lose
running
all
red.
Access to wharfs and everything. Yeah.
So Naval Fame is just like Karma in the open world, except that in Naval Fame, if you, for example, if I were driving my character around and I were shooting, if I happen to accidentally be flagged for one reason or another, and I'm killing a sea monster, and a little Tuvala Timmy's sailing out there like Tom Hanks on a raft coming out of Velia Harbor, right? And I accidentally clip that raft. It's minus like 250,000 Naval Fame.
Jesus.
Or minus like 300,000 Naval Fame, and you only start with like 50k. So you can imagine the frustration for a new player who is like goes out and like one of the first things you do, when you're in a furious sailboat, you're like, oh, I have a super cool cannon. I'm gonna flag up and I'm gonna shoot that boat over there. You know what I mean? They flag up, they put one cannonball into a boat, and now they can't use any wharf managers anywhere, because when you go negative on your naval fame, multiple things happen. Number one, you cannot use a wharf manager unless you're at Pirate Island. That's one of the biggest things. Number two, if you sink, whether it be to humans or PvE damage, your boat gear downgrades, which is hundreds of hundreds, like we're talking billions and billions of silver, like and hours of time. Your boat gear physically downgrades. Your sailors get sick, which is more hundreds of billions of silver that you kind of have to pound into it. Yeah, I mean, we're talking, the punishments for this stuff are steep. And honestly, part of the reason they're so steep is that goddamn lolly pirate just keeps making it worse. On the rest of it,
that dude is a menace.
Yeah, lolly pirate came. The CMs and GMs had this event, and they thought it was going to be super cool, where it was like for Corsair, when Corsair came out, and they were like, hey, look at our new GM boat, which is actually now the guild boat that you get for like conquering a region. It's like the big, like, grandiose guild boat. Yeah, the galleon or whatever the heck it's called. It's super cool. But yeah, they're like 2 decks and stuff. And the event was, you come out, you transform into a little otter, and you sail around on the CMs and GM's big boat. Now, what they failed to realize is they're sailing around in open waters. And they thought to themselves, there's no way our boat has like 2 times as many cannons, and like is like 3 times the durability of all the other boats on the water. Surely no one will come and sink us. And Lolly Pirate came and sank those guys like 4 times, man. Like literally 4 times. Like they were like, I don't understand how he keeps doing it. And what most people on the ocean don't understand is, if you have an Ebenruth Knoll, you could sail a fleet of carracks into one carrack that has an Ebenruth Knoll, and they would all sink without landing a single shot on that boat. That's how powerful the Ebenruth Knoll is, and Lolly Pirate knows this. And so he sank the CM and GM's boat. They got really upset, and I know that they got really upset because in the next patch, they made Naval Fame horrendously bad. Like, it was literally the next patch, and we were like, we are getting this done. This needs to be punished. Now you lose all this stuff. You lose all these privileges. You don't get to have fun with the game anymore. If we don't get to have fun, you don't get to have fun. But yeah, the Naval Fame is really, really punishing, especially for people that, like, maybe acts that they don't know any better. If you flag up and just jump, you don't even have to have a boat out. If you flag up and just jump on somebody's boat and accidentally auto attack the boat, like the deck of the boat, boom, negative 250,000 naval karma. And in order to get it back, in order to get this karma back, there is a quest that, so there's 2 ways to do this. There's a quest that you can do. It's repeatable. And you could basically carry this crate back and forth for 1,000 naval fame at a time. It takes like 4 or 5 minutes to do the quest, and you can do it as many times as you want, but like, you do the math on how long it's going to take you to get 250,000 naval fame back. Doing that quest for a new player, most people are just going to go, screw this, I'm done, I'm out, I don't want to do it anymore. And then there's also, you can go out and kill sea monsters, but trying to kill sea monsters is rough, because if anybody, it's just like a red player. If you see a red player out in the world, the vast majority of the player base is like red player. Like they just their vision goes black, and then like they don't remember what happened next. All they see is they're just standing over his corpse. So like, and it's the same thing on the ocean. You see a red boat, and your initial reaction is to swap servers or hard engage. And because boat content is so buggy on the ocean, like, you just get sunk by somebody. God forbid you sink to one of the sea monsters because you can't go to a wharf. You know what I mean? Like, it's just naval fame is just way too punishing of a system. And again, it's making a system that's already difficult, like the boat system that's already too difficult to get into, even more punishing for a new player. It just, nobody wants to do it. Then you get to the end game with a full blue geared advance and everything, and you're still making a whopping 150 million silver an hour for a maximum of 4 hours. Whoa! Don't want to push that content too far. It would be a shame if they actually made money. All right. I'm done with my rant now. I had to get the naval fame out. Okay, so one of the topics that Tiltis wanted to touch on is the different potential gear options. So adding on to this idea of side progression, would you guys ever want to see more sets of gear for like PvE and PvX stuff? I'll let Jay Kuhn field this one first. Jay, would you like to see like more like specialized gear sets like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're already seeing this with like accuracy accessories like dawn earrings, lunar necklaces. And in Land of Morning Light, they're even adding this interesting accessory called the Tebek belts, which at Pen gives you 17 AP, but gives players basically another E buff. The last 1 minute on a 10-minute cooldown. And for listeners who don't know what the buff is, it's 50 DP, 30 AP, and 5% accuracy. And the accuracy part applies to party members as well. So, oh, and a side note, if you didn't know, they actually never released the Tebek necklace that we talked about, a while back, which was the Uno reverse anti-grab mechanic. So I'm not sure if they will ever release it in the future, but from this, at least we know they are capable of creating interesting new accessories, not necessarily just power creep stats of previous accessories. So, I do like this aspect of gear diversity in this way.
Yeah. So Tiltis, what do you think? Gear diversity, like do you want that? Do you want to be able to make like specialize a PvX set, a PvE set and things like that? Or do you like the way that it is right now?
So I'm a huge advocate for gear diversity. I think a lot of the inspiration for this question actually came from, you guys may have never played this, but back in the day, there was a MMO called Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter. And Neverwinter had 3 specialized sets for pretty much all content in the game. You had a PvP set, which you could go into with PvE gear, and then you would just grind PvP, and you would eventually get your PvP gear, and that would replace the PvE gear. They had the PvE gear, which was just what you get for questing. You buy it from vendors and all that kind of stuff. And then you had like in-game raid gear, which you would get from like grinding through the dungeons and, moving on to the raids and doing all that kind of stuff. And WoW has a very similar concept with a lot of their rating mechanics and stuff too. So I'm a huge advocate for gear diversity in the game, and one of the things that pops into my mind when I talk about this is like, we already have specialized gear, right? It already kind of exists in some form or fashion, like Jay was saying. But I would like to see things that are just like really geared towards very specific content. Like we have bosses out now. I would love to see a set that is like silly monster damage, silly monster DR and evasion, like specialized for killing bosses, and then have all your other sets. I think that would be an interesting addition, because you could make it so that you have your DP and you're hitting your DP brackets and all that kind of stuff. You're hitting AP brackets, but then you're getting, instead of like all like kind of like the red battlefield crystals, instead of human damage, you're getting this exact set with probably a set bonus for just PvE. I think that would be interesting to dive more into that system. And I think that I'm going to say it again, balance DR and evasion to be on equal footing, so that people can alternate between the gear, and then balance AP and accuracy to be equal to that. You have the rock paper scissors system already in the game. Just make it work. And I think that will be exactly what I'm kind of talking about with specialized sets, where they already exist, but they're like hit or miss for some things, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm kind of on the other side of the fence here. I think that if you make specialized set for PvP or for PvE, PvX, stuff like that, I think that you take away from the build diversity of the game overall. I think that then everyone builds the exact same set for PvE, and everyone builds the exact same set for PvP, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that honestly, it just takes away, like I said, from the game overall. And I'm not sure that we necessarily want to do that. And there's probably a correct way to do this. Like Jay said, they were talking about doing stuff like this, where like they have like the Uno reverse card necklace of unbalance, where you could literally just you could literally just click a button, and then just like, instead of you getting CC'd, they got CC'd instead. And I don't know why they thought, like in the office, it's like they were just throwing this idea around, and they thought it would be good, and then it came to us and we were like, are you stupid? You can't do that. Like, what if that would completely destroy PvP in the game? And then we never heard about it again. Thank goodness. But like Jay said, I think it definitely shows us that they're looking at stuff like this. And that like it's potential we could get something like this in the future, but I think they have to be really delicate about it. Like I said, like otherwise, if you make it very cleanly the best in slot item for basically everything in the game, like or for like PvE, you know, like and then everyone's got to build that in addition to everything else. It just makes it harder for a new player to pick up the game and play it. It's already a massive learning curve for new players. I just think that it might get even harder.
We have it in some form though. Like, I mean, we've all seen the Kudum and Nuver bracket AP brackets, and when you're supposed to use Nuver for PvE and when you're supposed to use Kudum for PvE, and now with the special attack damage being added to Nuver and Kudum, it's like, all right, well, Kudum is your PvE offhand and Nuver is your PvP offhand. So, some of that stuff does already exist.
Well, Speaking of which, we're getting the offhand changes tonight, boys.
Really?
Well, I mean, that's what it. I mean, don't you guys read GM? Which GM is it? Shut up. It's Scarlet, I think. Yeah, it's GM Scarlet. There's CM Scarlet. Damn it. CM Scarlet announced we're getting improvements to the Pit of Undying, effects added to some sub weapons, and I would assume that is the change that we got from KR, where like honestly the implications that has on damage in the game overall is kind of profound. I think that they just slapped 10% special attack damage onto Nuver and Kudum.
It was heavy-handed.
And I'm just like, bro, and PvP archers are already kind of slapping people, bro. You just gave them 10% more damage. Like that's kind of a lot of damage. To be handing the range classes in the game, I think it makes melees a lot less good. And then in cap PvP, I think range is up tremendous. I think the flanking assassins are up tremendous. And I think frontline classes are sweating with that change. But we will see. Do you guys know what the changes to the Pit of Undying are?
Are they making it good?
So they're improving the rewards.
Thank God Jay's here.
They're still not that good.
No way, bro.
Imagine.
They are reducing the HP and damage of the Pit of Undying bosses, which I feel like, why? Because when I did it, I did it back in 2020, and they felt like a good difficulty. But with the amount of gear that we have now, they should be like super weak. So why did they make them even weaker now? Anyways, now they're just like super easy to kill now. You still have to do some of the mechanic, because some of the mechanics, wait, maybe you don't, because we're super geared now. I don't know, because a lot of the mechanics involved if you fail the mechanic, they gain like a massive AP and DP buff, and you just couldn't damage them. But we have so much gear now, maybe you could just bypass it. I don't know. I might have to like hop in there and just to see. But yeah, just a little bit of improvement to the rewards and reduce the AP and DP for the mod. Oh yeah, the insignia. The insignia we can put in the book slot. It gives combat XP now. So the pen one gives 30% combat XP for wearing it.
Man,
that's nice for like, I don't know, for like AFK training or something.
Of course, Jay knows that, bro. Jay's like, as somebody
I was
that does
literally
AFK
looking
training.
at my insignia in my inventory when he brought it up. So, because I was like, I have this thing from where I went and did it one time, and I can't remember what the heck it does. So,
yeah, for our listeners that don't know, the Pit of the Undying is some lesser used content in the game. It was introduced about 2 years ago, I want to say, and basically what happens is you teleport to this island way out in the ocean, and you fight these bosses that have these set mechanics that you have to try to work around in this like basically gladiator arena, which honestly as a concept is really cool, but in practice it's just not great, because like the rewards just aren't there, and so Jay, if what you're saying is true and they're just buffing the rewards, do you guys feel like it? Do you guys feel like that Pit of Undying really just does it need like an overhaul, or do they just need to buff the rewards? Is it good content? Take the rewards away from it. Is it good content? Is it fun? Jay?
I do think the Pit of Undying was sort of like their foundation that they created for Land of Morning Light, because Land of Morning Light is like PvE and game bosses. Pit of Undying was the very first piece of content we got that sort of mirrored that, where these, you fight these bosses, they have mechanics, you do the mechanics, you get the rewards, and then it's like highly expanded upon Land of Morning Light. So I do think it was necessary for them to create Pit of Undying so that we could get Land of Morning Light. But whether they should revitalize Pit of Undying is a different question. If anything, I would rather them revitalize Altar of Blood. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Yeah, I actually used to do
Altar
it.
of Blood.
Yeah, I actually used to do it when they had events for it, because if you did it without the events, it was garbage. But
true. But when the events were out, it was good.
Yeah, right. When the events were going, what was it called again? Altar of Blood, right? Like that's
Altar of Blood.
Yeah.
Okay,
AOB.
yeah. I'm literally blanking on the name. It's like, yeah, I loved it. What was it again? Like, yeah, I mean, like Altar of Blood was a lot of fun too. Oh, good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Choice made a forum post about it. If you didn't see. So,
Oh boy, did he? He's made
About
a
Altar of
few.
Blood specifically.
Altar of Blood specifically.
Nice.
He's made a few forum. Yeah, he's made a few forum posts lately, and I think the reason is, bro, like the CMs literally told us, like the partners in the partner chat, they're like, okay, guys, we made this new system for you guys to give us feedback. We understand and appreciate you. We're just gonna have you post on the forums now, and we're like, wait, isn't that what everyone else does? And they're like, yes, that's the beauty of it. We don't have to listen to you anymore. You can put it on the forums like everyone else does, and we can better judge feedback. I think because the biggest problem with the feedback system currently is that the developers really will only honor something if it is shown on the forums. Right? Like, unless it is literally on the forums, they are not going to touch the content. Like, you could have the best Reddit post in the entire world, and no one is going to care.
You need to plug your forum post.
Exactly.
If you liked this one, go upvote that one.
Exactly. There's actually just no shot. Like, if you actually want to get something done in the game, you actually must go put a post on the BDO forums. And I think people have started getting like a little bit of the hang of this now, but we're actually going to move into my next. Honestly, that was a great segue. Excellent job, Jay. We're going to move in. Yeah, we're going to move into my segment on forum posts here. And I figured that now on the podcast every week, since the only real way to reach the developers is to encourage people to post on the forums or upvote good posts on the forums so that we can see meaningful changes within the games, I figured that we could talk about some of the top forum posts every week. In the first one that I want to talk about comes to us from my boy Roarworthy, posted on the forums. And by the way, I will post all of the links to these forum posts to make it easy on the listeners. I will post all of the links to these forum posts if you agree with them in the YouTube video description, where you can just click on the link and upvote it very quickly. Make it really easy for you to help support that kind of stuff. But this guy suggested that costumes, outfits, and various other things that you buy on the Pearl Shop should be less character bound and more family bound. Now, do you guys struggle with this on a regular basis? Are there certain items on the Pearl Shop you wish were character bound, or wish were family bound, but they're constantly character bound? Jay, we'll start with you on this.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started playing BDO, it was during LAN release, and I was planning to play a LAN. Unfortunately, it was during pre-creation, so I couldn't play her for like another week. So I decided to make a witch in the meantime, and I bought a bunch of Wade costumes and inventory for her, being unaware that it's character bound as a new player. But luckily, I did enjoy witch, so I ended up just committing and mating her. But I do understand that this is like one of the ways the company makes money, and the company needs to make money to keep the game running. And I think, I'd rather have them monetize in this way rather than, some other way like pay to win. So
you are telling me that you played Witch for 2 straight years, because you had bought for 5 straight years because you bought weight on it accidentally.
Accidentally.
Nice.
I would have been a LAN player. I always told my chat, like, if I started the game 1 week later, I would have been a LAN player, and I felt like I would have been more a toxic person than I feel like playing a witch really humbled me, to be honest.
well, okay, that's not a fair argument. Have you seen Blue?
It's totally
Do you
fair.
know who this guy is?
Excuse you. I am not a toxic player. I just, unless you define, it depends on how you define toxicity. If you define toxicity as inherent loudness and maybe degrading someone's sense of moral fiber or being, then yes, I guess I'm toxic. But aside from that, no, I'm not really all that toxic. I mean, every once in a while, I will call someone evolutionarily challenged, but what if they deserve it? What if evolutionarily they really did branch before the rest of us? You know what I mean? Like on the evolutionary tree, they are a different species of stupid. Okay. But like, yeah, so like this idea that like, but are there some things, I understand the company needs to make money, but Tiltus, do you feel like there's some things that they can let off the leash a little bit and allow it to be family bound now that have been character bound in the past?
So I'm looking through this actual forum post. Do you want to read any of the text out of this forum post?
I disagree.
The other one's really long. That was my concern with reading them all.
No, I'm not going to read them all, but I'm just going to get the gist of them.
So this one, I actually agree like 100% with Jay. The company's got to make money somehow. I think that there are some things that shouldn't be character bound. I think the horse whistle would be a great quality of life. It's like, hey, buy this one-time purchase. You can transfer it to your whatever characters. That's fine. That would be nice. But a lot of the other stuff I'm seeing in this post, like, I don't think there's too much stuff in the Pearl shop that I'm like, man, I hate that this is character bound. I might just be completely jaded at this point because I'm a veteran, but I think anything that you have in your inventory before you use it should not be character bound, obviously, which costumes in the boxes already aren't. Maybe weight would have solved Jay's problem, right? Where he bought the weight and it was family bound until he used it. You know, that would have prevented him from being for lack of a better word, a beta witch player. No offense, Jay.
How dare you? How dare you?
Mouth drop when I said that too.
You can be a power bottom. Don't listen to him, Jay. Don't listen to him, Jay. You're my favorite power bottom. It's all good.
I think the Pro Shop for the most part is not too over the last year. I'd say that a lot of things have felt like they're not as brutal. But that might also be because I've just double checked things before I buy them. Like, I want to make sure that if I'm buying weight for my Valkyrie, that I'm not buying it on my Nova. Like, that might just be, me having played the game for a long time. Maybe to a newer player that is, they're like, oh, I need to buy weight, and they buy it on the wrong character like Jay did, and then they're stuck with weight on it. So maybe just make things to where they're family bound until they're used, and make the horse whistle family bound. I think that's the one thing they could probably give on that, unless they're just making so much absolute ridiculous money from the horse whistle purchases that they're like, nope. But I have bought a horse whistle on all my characters, so like maybe they are just legitimately making like that much money off of me, every time I roll to a new class buying a horse whistle. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I think the post was reaching. The reason I wanted to talk about it a little bit is I think that people misunderstand. Yes, they do need to pay for the servers at some point. Mm-hmm. So like making most of these items character bound, I'm actually okay with. The one, and to be honest with you, the horse whistle I think is actually one of the big ones that needs to stay character bound, because otherwise I'm gonna be honest, I would be frustrated that like my 9 horse whistles are now useless. Would be frustrating to me. But like I think that there is one particular thing that they could make. Like one really frustrating thing for me is when I open an outfit. Let's say I had, for example, throwing it out there, 3 witches. I'm not saying that I do. I may or may not have 3 or 4 witches, but I would like to be able to take some outfits off of my main witch and move them to other witches on my account. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Why?
No. Why do you have 3 witches?
Because I need this. Don't take this from me.
I'm so confused.
It's an excellent gatherer. She heals herself. She's got PA. She's got like the little chain lightning thing. It's like really easy. But she's awesome. But like you need to be able to move. I don't know. Like, is it really? Are they going to lose that much money by being able to move outfits from one character to another character that is the same? Like class. I understand some of this
class
other
bound,
stuff.
basically. Right?
Yeah, I understand making them like class type bound, but like it's really frustrating that like I had like a seasonal, like when I want to play a new class, for example, let's say seasonal Woosa came out and I really wanted to play Woosa, but see, I have a lot of gear, but the seasonal would be like griefing if I didn't start with seasonal, because you get a bunch of extra inventory, you get your skill points faster and all that stuff, right? So you kind of got to make a seasonal Woosa, and then you got to kind of make like a normal Woosa. So you got like 2 Woosas. And then you buy outfits on one of them, and then you can't transfer it to the other Woosa, because you can't graduate the seasonal Woosa for like a month and a half, and you really would just want to play Woosa that, you know, has 700 gear score and isn't bottlenecked by the 2 Vala caps, for example. Like, I'm not really sure why we can't, like, the big reason that I looked at this forum post and I was like, you know, the heart of this forum post is not wrong. There is 1 or 2 things just like that I think that we should be able to transfer character to character. But like the other essence of it is, I think, yeah, he's completely wrong on like, I mean, like he threw out there that like, man, the tent should be family bound, and we all looked around and we were like,
yeah, is anybody going to tell him?
does he not know? Has he only been taking his tent out on one character? And
does he have his old moon tent on every other character? Like the little dinky shack on every other character except for that one? Like, I'm confused.
I know. Like some of the forum posts I read through and I was like, oh man, they don't know. Like this is already a feature in the game. They just aren't aware of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to this next forum post. This one comes to us from Equalness, and he said this is part 2 of some of his quality of life suggestions about the game. And he's got a lot of bullet points here that we won't necessarily go through all of these, but I'll hit some of them. The first one, make it so that ticking the option to withdraw or deposit the maximum quantity of an item persists permanently. Do you guys use that frequently? That like that little box that you tick that says, you know, max the maximum amount of an item that you can transfer.
I have a little trick. I have a little trick for that one. So you see this finger? This is my pointer finger.
He's gonna hit him.
You click F with this finger, and then with your thumb you click the space bar. And you just go click, and you're done.
Yeah, F spacebar.
So, like, sure, I could see it to where I wouldn't have to do those keystrokes anymore if I could just click the maximum quantity button one time. But when I'm pulling pots out of my central market, because I do not have an infinite pot, fuck you guys. Like, I actually do have to kind of be careful. I don't grab all of them out of my market at once, or I will be 300% weight. So that actually doesn't bother me too much. I could see it being annoying for some people, especially if you have the infinite pot, and that's like the one thing I can think of, that or money, silver. But besides that, that one's, I just F space whenever I'm depositing anything. So
I don't know, man. I feel like the CMs took like heard that one and they were like, your feedback is heard, and then they put it in the paper shredder and they were like, fuck
because that's shit. The top one on there too.
Right. Like I mean that's brutal, right? Like I feel like that isn't checked all the time to prevent a catastrophic mistake. Like I accidentally threw away all of my stuff, like, and it clicked maximum quantity and it threw all of my elixir of detections away. Many support tickets.
Why would you throw them away in the first place?
Don't ask stupid questions, Jay.
Look,
people are stupid. You know this.
I will say there are some things that are in the game that take up multiple slots in your inventory, and if you go to move them, it will allow you to move all of the ones in your inventory at the same time. So like if you were wanting to throw one of something away because you had one extra of something, I don't know, like take annexes for example, or something like that, guild annexes. You were like, all right, don't throw away your guild annexes. This is just an example. Say you were to throw that away though, and accidentally threw away like all 20 of your guild annexes.
Exactly.
You're literally griefing your guild.
Exactly, you just grief. Like that's or oh God forbid you accidentally like throw away all of your siege forts. Like you accidentally clicked like your siege fort to delete it. There goes $1 billion silver in guild funds plus the 20 extra forts that you threw away. But nobody needs to know that because they don't get notified.
So there's definitely a fail safe on that. I think that exists. Where you have to do the keystrokes. So
I think you could just hit F and hit enter. Like I don't really feel like that's that big of a deal.
You don't even have to hit enter. You can hit spacebar for every yes or no question in BDO. Spacebar is yes. So literally all you have to do is just spam S or spacebar. That's it.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with another one. All right, go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say there was one thing on this list that I really wanted to come to the game that really resonated with me was there was one that said you can ping your location while you're dead, and I think that's going to be so useful in the dungeon because people die in the dungeon all the time, and I can't freaking find their body because they're like this little shy in a little bush, and I can't find them, or they're like stuck in a coral reef or something in the second dungeon. And so if you could ping yourself while you're dead, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would also play on my shot calling style. Green screen spectator calling. Get on the ping, get on the ping, get on the. I'm in the base, dead, spamming the ping location button.
There's been so many times where I'm like, I'm on the ninja, handle the bomber. I'm like riding back to the fight. You know what I mean? Like I can just shot call from dead. I think that Jay, you might be the only character or person in the entire game that went to, oh my god, if I could ping while I was dead, I could ping in the dungeon. There's not a single other of like the 100,000 players playing this game.
The other thing that popped into mind was GVGs too. Like when you're getting ganked by players and you have people close by, to be able to drop a ping location so that players that are nearby you could see, hey, this is where the person's at. They're over here. Would be nice too, because trying to get people to understand where the heck you actually died at or where this player is at can be a little annoying in GVGs as well. So
I mean, like being able to ping
one though. Yeah.
Okay, if we're gonna go into pings though, what's a bigger necessity? Being able to ping when dead, or being able to ping more than 5 freaking times at a time?
Blue, in the words of yourself, do not settle. Don't give these people anything. I want both.
Bro, why
you could ping more than 5 times before, right?
Yeah, you can ping an infinite amount of times, and then they give us this beautiful new ping system with these beautiful colored pings, which I'm going to be honest with you, was a massive quality of life update for large scale PvP, shot callers, flex, cannons, everyone could be using a different color. And then they were like, and here's the fun part, you can only do it 3 times at a time. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why? I felt like Michael talking to Toby on The Office. Why are you the way that you are? I hate everything about the way that you choose to be. The developers, I feel like, just have to take something super fun and just suck the fun out of everything. Bro, just give us the ability to ping all the time. Ping when dead is massive. That's huge too.
Even if it's just where your body's at,
correct,
which I think it only should be.
Right.
That would be helpful.
Right.
I think that's it for dungeons, for GVGs, for large scale node wars, all around the board. I like that. That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. How about remove the case sensitive search requirement for all content in the game?
Oh yeah.
I think that's a
good one.
Yeah, like that is a really good. It's a small thing, but like I feel like there's either one of two things that's happening here. Either one, they can't, because it's spaghetti code, or two, it would take an intern all of 3 minutes. It's one or the other.
The way it is right now for like case is because I think Korean just doesn't have upper and lowercase. No, they don't have an uppercase or lowercase. They just have characters.
So that might just be an oversight then on the on localization. Then they might not have ever even been made aware that was an issue for some players.
Dear Delphi, this needs to be fixed post haste.
You know what's funny? The only time I've ever run across this exact issue is trying to equip titles. Like when it pops up and it says you've acquired a new title,
annoying, dude.
And I'm like, oh, I want to use that title. When I got bold, not bald, I was like, I have to equip this on my shot calling character. It has to exist. So and then I went to find it and I was like, where the hell is it? So I sat there and had to scroll to find it. I didn't actually realize it was case sensitive. So yeah, that's I'm agreed. Blue, I can't believe you don't use that title every day of your life.
I don't have it because I refuse to grind a place that people have nicknamed Uppies.
Uppies!
There's not a chance. I refuse. I have boycotted it from that moment.
Everybody flame Blue and tell him to go to Uppies.
There's not a chance. I'm very happy with bugs.
It's good. It's good group content.
I am the exterminator. All right. Add an option to disable previously watched cutscenes from appearing altogether when doing the main cutscene. Please, please, God. Please get rid of it. Like, why are you making me watch? I'm a veteran player. I have seen this cutscene 27 times. Please allow me to skip it once I have watched it the first 26 times. I understand that, like, they really want, like, we spent a lot of time and money on this content, you will enjoy it kind of thing. But like, after you've done it once or twice, bro, we should be able to skip all cutscenes in the game. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. No, that seems like a no-brainer. Quality of life.
Yeah. Jay?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
I remember
if anyone was gonna disagree, Jay's like, no, you must learn the lore.
I feel like what they could do if players do want to see the cutscenes is maybe I don't know, in your mansion you could have like a TV in your mansion and you can just interact with it and you can just have a list of cutscenes.
Oh, that would be an interesting addition.
You can watch,
yeah.
And if you haven't unlocked it yet, then you have to go and do that, and then it unlocks on your TV or something.
I actually like that, a cutscene viewer. Does that exist? That doesn't exist anywhere in the game as of right now?
I don't think so. They're sort of like,
they should add that.
Cutscene viewers.
Yeah.
For example, after you finish the Magnus storyline, you know, like the last cutscene with what's that guy's name? The warrior guy? I forgot his name.
Bro,
but
you're the only one in this call that is gonna know that.
Wait, that one's not Jordan though, right?
It's not Jordan. It's the warrior guy you fight at the end, right? With like the boss thing. So you can
find. It was
find
just the same model as Jordan, though.
No, you can find him in Kusha. He's hiding in a house in Kusha, and if you want to watch the cutscene again, you can talk to him to see
oh
the
yeah,
cutscene
I totally know what you're talking about.
That's a lot. That's for a lot of other cutscenes too. Like for specific cutscenes, when you finish the storyline, you can just talk to like a certain NPC, like Gorgath. You know Gorgath from
no, but go ahead.
He's so Gorgath is that guy, the alchemist guy that you meet in Calphion to do your Black Star quest to make your weapons, right? And he's in the contaminated farm. You can watch a few cutscenes from him. So that's how they're doing cutscene viewing.
Okay, gotcha.
But if they could be, condensed and could,
yeah, if I had a menu, well, they added that with the Marnie's radio, right? So you can listen to all the music from whenever you wanted, which was a nice change for people to enjoy the music. That's a great idea.
If they had one for cutscenes, that would be,
allow us to skip already viewed cutscenes and then allow us to rewatch them if we want somewhere. I like it. Not YouTube, in game. Make it easy.
Yeah, in game. That'd be easier for like making content for like lore wise too for video.
Oh yeah, true.
You're telling me you wouldn't have to literally record yourself doing the entire main storyline to get any amount of like footage from the game?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, bro!
I want a Viata video equivalent breakdown of all the lore in BDO. Somebody, hop on that.
How about
TLDR?
How about allow us to summon the Black Spirit while we're standing on a seamount? Ship, raft, boat, carrack, that kind of thing. I have wanted this for a long time because I want to do my big enhancements standing on my deck. You know what I mean? I have a huge deck. It just loves standing on my deck, bro.
Oh, I knew it was going to go.
I want to enhance on my deck. Like, I spent a lot of time working on that deck. It looks great. I really want to enhance while I'm standing on my boat. Yeah. Like, actually, though.
It is annoying if you ever need a quest or anything, or you're upgrading sailboat gear and you're like already on the boat and you're like, okay, dude, let me hop off and stand on the dock. Yeah, that's silliness. We can access it on our horse now if you're standing still. So why can't I do that on my boat?
Bro?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. How about when using the world map? These are easy ones. When using the world map, stable mount delivery function. Add a search feature for the list of stables to transfer the mount to. I mean,
I don't use that too much. I don't transfer mounts too much. So,
as someone that has a lot of mounts, I would love that feature.
Really?
Like, I
transfer.
transfer.
Do you do a lot of horse training?
Yeah, I transfer mounts all
really?
over the place. Yeah, and typically what I do, and this is going to sound insane, but in order to make more money AFK, because AFK money is kind of lackluster right now, what you do is you AFK horse train these 4 horses overnight, and most people just go straight to the vendor and Imperial vendor them, for the stuff. But what you can do is you can just transfer them to stables all over the world. You just keep so you get hundreds of these level 15 horses in all your stables all over the world of BDO. And then when the event comes out that allows you to trade in Imperial mounts, for Imperial delivery notices, you trade them all in and just immediately finish your Krogdalo set. You are done.
Nice. Okay, yeah.
Smart. I should do that.
Yep.
Well then, yes. In that case, since you're the only mount delivery person in here, you go ahead, add it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go right ahead.
It would be better. I would enjoy it. I would enjoy it. Let's see. Add a new button for the world map stable to allow us to view mounts in the inventory in the same way through the regular stable. I'm actually going to one-up that one. What do you guys think about being able to, if you're on one character, stable the mount on another character, on an alt?
Yeah, we talked about this already. We talked about it, I think, last week, actually.
No. I'm talking about putting, like, standing on one character, and I'm like, oh, my DK has the horse that I need.
Yeah.
She needs to put that horse away.
Yeah.
And not having to switch to the DK to do that. No, we talked about we talked about being able to move, because this is on the global labs, isn't it? Like, well, not the horse part, but being able to move items off of your alts with the global storage feature.
When we talked about the horse whistle, I'm pretty sure we talked about that exact thing.
Did we, Jay?
I remember talking about it, but yeah.
Jay, don't give me the pan face.
Oh,
Did we lose Jay?
No, he said 1 second.
I thought he was just dono-walling me. I thought for sure I was getting dono-walled.
My stream died, so I'm trying to restart.
That's okay. We can't tell. It's like a picture into your soul now. It's fine. All right. Well, if we already talked about it, we already talked about it. Allow us to rename our pets potentially through introducing a pet name change coupons.
No, just make them like workers. Don't give them any more monetization. Oh, bye, Jay.
Oh my gosh, Jay. It's so much worse now.
Oh no. I just closed my OBS. I did it.
I don't know, man. Naming your pets. I thought that naming your pets was cool, and then I realized, like, I don't know. I thought that naming my workers was cool, and I would name my workers after my friends. Like, I named one of them Lane, and then I realized that Lane is working 24 hours around the clock, 7 days a week, and I'm barely remembering to feed him. And so it's just morally questionable to name your workers anything that is like relevant. Although you can name them, like you said, honestly, naming your workers was a big tilt as you had the 5-head of naming your workers after the node that they are working on, so that you always remember what node that particular worker was actually working on. It's brilliant.
Am I back?
Super smart. Yes, you are back. Welcome back, buddy.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Let's see. Remove the respawn cooldown timers that apply after dying during the Magnus main quest. Did you guys die during the Magnus main quest? I guess maybe a little bit, but I really didn't feel like that was that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think I died during that main quest, except maybe once or twice. I think the only time I maybe died was doing the pirate ship wreckage thing, where you get lit up by pirates if you got caught. But besides that, it's the only thing I can think of. And that one was annoying, so maybe this guy's onto something.
Oh, here's a good one. Oh, okay, Jay, go ahead. Jay, do you think that's like? Do you care?
I was just gonna say, like, we only do it once, and then once you're done, that
you're like, I just don't care. So many better things to focus on. Like,
that one's kind of a weird one. To me, I think you're doing like a instance kind of story quest thing. I think it should be a little punishing for you if you die during it, to be honest. You gotta sit there and think about what you've done.
Okay, here's a really good one. Allow us to add mystical spirit powder and Vel's powder to your family inventory. Why do we not already have this? Like, what is there a single reason that you shouldn't be able to do that? I feel like that the developers have like threaded the needle and like they could exploit this in XYZ fashion, but like I can't think of a way to exploit that. Do you guys think that that's just a slam dunk? Or is there like something I'm missing?
I think it's an easy one. Give that one away. I think the family inventory should be able to be used for more. Honestly, it lacks a lot of utility. I think outside of
I think
odds and ends.
I think family inventory should be expanded to like 64 slots and like triple the weight. If I'm being honest, because like I want to be able to put all of my elixirs in my family inventory so that like I can pop them on various characters and do different things, and all of my scrolls too. Scrolls are like the big one, and that takes up a lot of inventory space. It also takes up a lot of weight for the elixirs and stuff, and I can't do all that right now. It's really annoying. You're like limited at what, like 32 slots? Like let us use this content more. It's great content. Okay, remove the per server limit on how many fish can be sold to the Imperial Fishing delivery NPC. The limit has no purpose besides inconveniencing the player. Have you guys ever used the Imperial Fish vendor?
Once. Long time ago.
It's been I didn't realize it had a limit. I thought they changed it. So you know, like the box, the guru.
They changed the boxes. Yeah, they changed the boxes. There's no limit for
that. I thought that they did.
I thought that would have extended the fish as well.
It did not. Apparently.
Yeah, because the cooking and Awak boxes don't have a limit anymore. They used to, and it was really annoying.
I'm laughing, Tiltus, because on an earlier podcast,
I'm fishing right now.
You introduced yourself as like the fisherman. Like you could have renamed yourself to the fisherman. Like this is your content. You're like, I've done the Imperial Fishing once. Like I
told you, I dry my fish. That way I don't have to use workers to do it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I used to use the Imperial vendor all the time. The reason that the Imperial system is the way that it is, and like you could only trade X amount of goods at a time, is to try to limit people and make it competitive among players. But like, I agree. I think he's right. I think that like you can just remove it at this point because there's not enough players that use it. It's kind of irrelevant. It's just a hassle for like the one guy that's using the Imperial Fishing vendor.
And find the server that's open.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Or be there right at reset so that I can cash in.
Right. That
used to be the big thing with cooking boxes when money wasn't so readily available. You go sit at the Imperial vendor and wait for the cooking box reset so you can cash them all in.
Yep.
All via gamers know what I'm talking about.
Here's another good one.
Nobody used that one.
Make the family inventory usable when having the storage or the warehouse open so that we can withdraw or deposit items into it directly from storage or warehouse. Would you guys actually use that?
I like that one. Yeah. That one always trips me out that it's not already in the game. Because you're like, all right, let me pull it to my main inventory. Let me swap. Let me click open my normal, or let me exit out of the inventory. Let me open up my normal inventory, hit the fucking transfer button or whatever it is, and then move stuff over into my family storage, and then go back and open up my normal storage and go back to what I was doing. So that was just a weird one. Yeah, it is a lot of clicking for something that seems simple enough to me.
Okay. All right. I've basically moved through the good ones of this post.
Yeah,
There's a few more.
There was one more on here I wanted to talk about real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me.
Add a new option in the settings to disable the notifications on the screen concerning mounts. Your mount's raring to go. Your mounts can be attacked by monsters. Your mount's too heavy. All those notifications that are in that little like tiny text box, not the big pop-ups, but just that tiny one that pop up. I'm like, can I turn that off somewhere, please? That one annoys the crap out of me. I do really hate that one.
That's what's annoying you? Of all the things in the game, that's what's doing it for you?
No, that one's not like a major grief. I mean, the game works, but it's just annoying when I like am grinding and it's just like every 2 seconds. Your mount's too heavy. Your mount's too heavy. I'm like, I know. I put it there. I know.
That's fair. What about on that notion, what do you guys think about being able to turn off guild members enhancements? Or turn on guild alliance enhancements?
Ooh.
What if you could see enhancements from both sides of the alliance so that you're not constantly asking, wait, what did they get?
Yeah. Everyone's like grats in the alliance chat and you're like, what?
What happened?
It's gotten to the point where Reforged is so active that like we have people that will troll you And they're just like, they just start saying grats, and then a bunch of people all say grats, and everyone's like, what did somebody
Grats
get?
on your pen read left.
And then there's the initial guys like, what a bunch of idiots. Like, I didn't get anything.
Guru 2 cooking, dude. Nice job. Way to go, man. Congrats.
Yeah, it's like that guy there was a guy in Vertex. God bless him. His name was Yarn. And he used to just, man, he would get people. It was his version of hazing when people would join the guild. He would just X up for Vel. Like Vel's doesn't even happen today.
It's like
it would be like, yeah, it'd be like a Thursday. Yeah, afternoon. And he's like, X Vel. He got a whole platoon of people together once. They swapped to the server. Like, he's sitting there waiting. He's like, does anyone have a boat? They're like, yeah, they're like all ready to go. And then he just swapped back. He's like, what a bunch of idiots.
That was good. That's good. Approved.
But yeah, what do you guys think about being able to turn off? Because I've seen people complain about being able to see like guild enhancement stuff. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in a guild with somebody like Biohack, God bless his heart, I would just not. There's not a chance. The dude is just enhancing all the time, man. Like,
speaking of enhancing, I would like them to reduce. You know, like when you use your Nadir's band for something over 100 stacks, there's like a 30-second cooldown. Can they just like reduce that to like?
Oh, you think
10
that's
seconds?
bad?
Wait, reduce which cooldown?
To be
Reduce which cooldown?
So like when you use the Nadir's band, you know, for swapping
the
your
Nadir's
stacks,
band.
and it's over 100 stack, it would be a 30-second cooldown. I would just like that to be reduced to, I don't know, like 5.
I don't know, 0.
No, just make it 10. Now, I understand making it a cooldown because, again, that's just the CMs going, we don't want to field all of these tickets. Because you're moving fast, you know, you're just click, boom, click, boom, click, boom.
Yeah.
And if you're moving too fast, boom, there goes the 200 stack on your Tet Reblath. You know, like, that's rough. And they're just saving themselves some time. So, like, 10 seconds, though, I think is reasonable.
Yeah, I feel like 10 seconds is enough to do that job. 30 seconds is a little too long.
Oh, but do add cross-alliance notifications for enhancements. I would love to see. Nice, I would love to see that.
Do you want the biggest quality of life buff? Then I'm gonna float this out there as an idea. Is something that we have been living with, like it's a third world country, pinging things in alliance chat.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that. Yes,
right now,
Whisper, then alliance chat,
bro.
So
Whisper
it's like we don't have the technology. It's 2023. And we can't ping things in alliance chat. I have to explain it when people join. I'm like, first you have to open a whisper chat, ping the item, then manually change it to alliance chat, and then ping the item in alliance chat. It's so annoying. Please allow us to ping things in alliance chat. That we added this alliance system to the game. We keep updating the alliance system in the game. Please make it more functional so that both sides of the alliance can merge a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, it would help like all alliances feel more like a community. If you were able to ping stuff like that, just basic things like that.
Because I know like the Solace Alliance, like we're pretty much locked in. Like we have no plans of breaking off from Nurture or anything like that because they help us stay casual and not
covering his ass. He's already looking for other alliance leaders. Don't listen to him.
Cap. But like for us, like we've almost merged communities to some extent. Like we do game nights with the Alliance Guild and stuff like that. So we absolutely want to be more plugged in with them. So I would love to see cross alliance enhancements so that we can grats those guys when they get good shit. So
yep. Cross alliance enhancements, cross alliance decks, cross alliance like there's all kinds of things that they could add to the alliance system to make it just a little bit more integrated.
And if you want to turn it off, give them the ability to turn it off. If it's too much spam for some people, give them the ability to turn it off. That's fine. But I want to see it, you know?
Yeah, I love seeing my guild members enhance stuff. I'm like, oh, thank God he finally got some gear.
That's why, honestly, I'm kind of glad that it's enabled. I'm going to be the weird one here. I'm glad that you have to see your guild members enhance successes because it plugs people into like congratulating that person when they get something. And then when they hit, their pin black star, it's grats all the way down the chat. And, that gasses that person up. I think it's important in some extent for community purposes.
I would agree with you, but the problem is the developers have gone one way with this in that we want people to be able to play the game solo without being forced into a community. And then they added all these guild buffs and all this stuff and basically forced you into this guild. And then they force you to watch other people succeed. Like I'm so sorry, but like every time I'm enhancing on stream, God forbid, everybody in my guild takes it upon themselves. You know what? I kind of want to hit my Tet Blackstar right now. I was kind of feeling it. You know what I mean? Like right over the top of me. Feels good every time. We lost Jay again. But yeah, I think like I love personally seeing all of the different like enhancing stuff, but I think you should give players the ability to turn that off. But in that same token, give us the ability to turn on Alliance too, so that we can see across both sides of the Alliance. Okay, moving on to our last forum post that we're going to look at here. This comes from Cillian Raynor, and he's talking about knowledge. He's talking about how some knowledge in the game, like particularly S tier knowledge, is just way too difficult to get. And so I'm curious, do you guys do knowledge grinding at all?
I have in the past, and I sank a lot of hours and buffs and min-maxing pets and organizing everything just right to do it. It is kind of a pain in the ass to get S knowledge on certain mobs. Like this guy's 100% right. It's brutal for certain ones. Especially boss knowledges too, where you have to unlearn the knowledge and then redo a quest or something like that to regain the knowledge to hope that you get the S knowledge on it. That's annoying. You have to do that with Garmoth if you want Garmoth S knowledge. You have to like do it again. Yeah. So
it's miserable. He mentions in this post here, he mentions Kovariak, which is the serpent boss at Tashira Ruins. Is extremely difficult to get S tier knowledge on. Gatekeepers, which are even worse somehow. Although like and to be honest with you, gatekeepers is this is just probably a subject for another time. Gatekeepers need to be reworked basically altogether. And then he mentions at the bottom the mutant, ogre, and troll, and I'm like, man, that's the only guy on the whole server that's like, I need S knowledge on the mutant ogre. No,
that one's a bitch.
Yeah,
have you ever done the mutant ogre?
Yeah, actually, there's a content creator trying to get together a party for that, and they asked me to do it. To quote shot call it. I was like, bro, there's no shot call. Just hit the ogre. Hit the giant ogre.
It's brutal to kill. I've done it once, and it was rough to say the least.
I feel like it's getting
forever.
Well, how many people did you have?
Not a ton. I think it was like maybe 10.
Oh no, you bring like 40 people with 700 gear score. You're gonna turbo that thing. But like. Yeah, no, I mean, the mutant ogre is just dead content, and that's a conversation for another time. But focusing on the knowledge specifically, is the knowledge, like this knowledge in the game, is this entire process, when you hit H, is this just way too complicated for a new player? Like, does this need to be toned down in any way? Do you guys like the knowledge system, the way they have it set up and everything? I know it's really complex, and some players really like that, but I think it looks just really overwhelming. I get overwhelmed just looking at it when I hit H. I'm like, all right, just focus on the ecology effect in the bottom right. Speaking of which, what kind of ecology effect do you guys have? Tiltus, how many thousands?
This account's not that good because I haven't done a big knowledge grind on this one. But this one's only 4,000. Yeah, no, I did it on my original account before I started over a couple of years ago. I did a big knowledge grind. I vowed I would never do that one again because it was just that much of a pain in my butt.
Yeah, it's miserable. Jay, how many ecology points do you have?
I have 9,000. I was planning to finish off the last 1,000
of course
a while back, but I just got too lazy. I think the last 1,000 is pretty hard.
Yeah,
you just gotta go for those little obscure
ones.
Yeah, I have 6,400, and I am perfectly happy. With my 6,400, I did the knowledge grind, and again, we talked about this before. I shot Water Striders in Calpheon for like one full week. It was just hours of just go rent a practice matchlock, which only has 10 shots. You go shoot the Water Striders, you run out of 10 shots, you gotta go back, rent another matchlock, and keep doing it again. And the only way to get knowledge on the Water Strider in Calpheon is to shoot it with this practice matchlock, and it's like ridiculously hard, and I just gave up, man. I was like, I'm done with that on. And so every time a new player asks me, is the knowledge grind worth it, Blue? I'm like Adam Sandler, and I'm like, stay away. Run as far as you can.
While we're on the topic of knowledge, can we get an update to that UI? Is it just me, or is that UI kind of dog?
That's what I mean. Is I feel like they could simplify this so much better.
Like when it came out and there wasn't as much knowledge in the game, it was a lot better. But now, if you go to ecology and you open up ecology and you just click on like Valencia or like somewhere with or comma with where there's a ton of mobs, it is overwhelming. Like Calpheon, you pop up in Calpheon and it's just like, holy Jesus, dude, why are there so many rings? They overlap each other. There's so many.
It's obnoxious, dude.
Yeah,
it's rings on rings on rings. It's ringception.
Yeah, I would like to see that just become more of like, I don't know, maybe like your K window, where you've got a whole half the screen is dedicated to just, you know, menus of a Calpheon, ecology, blah 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 blah, and then on the left you can bring up like a full screen thing of the knowledge, you know, like that little knowledge tab that you get down at the bottom when you kill a new mob. Make that like just the whole left pane. That way if people want to read the information and lore about the mob, they have a nice big picture of it with the text nice and big at the bottom, and then the menu is simplified. That little orbit constellation thing is weird to me and super outdated. It's weird looking. It's the only menu in the game that looks like that.
Isn't that like the same menu we've had since the beginning, right?
Yeah, since launch. Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
They just add more shit in there until it's so full that you're just like, holy crap. So yeah, that would be a nice quality of life.
TLC.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that and that's what I was trying to get at, is that like the system itself is like super complex, and I think that's what a lot of players actually really like about it. The problem is it's just not approachable for a new player because of how poor the UI is. Right, like the crystal system is also really complex, but it's approachable. When a new player opens the crystal system, they're like, "Oh, okay, it's intuitive. I just put this here." The knowledge system is like, "Oh my god, oh, how do I make this screen go away?" Like,
what do I need to actually do in this screen? Or trying to find a particular like mob by name or knowledge by name. Like if you go into like academics or something like that, where you've got sophistication, you know, 1, 2, and whatever, and then you're trying to find like this one specific knowledge inside here. You're like, okay, is it under this one? Is it under the other one? Like, it would just be way easier if they just made it a menu driven rather than this little orb driven thing.
Yeah. I completely agree. Okay, for our last subject that I kind of want to talk about here, the changes to the node worker empire. We did talk about how this might get changed a little bit last week. I think we did, right? Did we talk about this yet?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
I feel like, yeah,
well,
but like,
are you talking about the G Labs update?
Yeah. You go ahead and explain it for
on
him.
the 12th.
Okay, so this is new.
So,
okay, so Tilt, just explain it for us.
Let me pull up.
He's like, I have no idea what it says.
Thing. Yeah, let me pull up the G Labs again.
Jay, you know what it says?
It was more in depth than what they did take one of the big suggestions that we had when we talked about it, which was the auto feed, which was probably the biggest quality of life buff I've ever seen to workers. I'm so excited about that when I saw it on G Labs. Because I can't wait to be able to put food in my family inventory and then just let it go.
Lane
doesn't have to starve anymore, Blue.
Oh God. I was like, how do you know Lane is hungry? I remembered. I was like, oh, he knows. Yeah, I think that Jay, what do you think about the worker changes? So where you can basically put food in your family inventory and have them auto feed your entire worker empire.
That's great. That basically just means goblins are the way to go, right?
Oh yes, time to redo the worker empire, boys.
I think a really big one is because right now how the workers put their stuff inside is like wherever the worker's from, right? If you have a worker from Olvia gathering corn somewhere in, somewhere else in Balance, it will bring it back to Olvia for the storage there. But when you get to level 35, you get a new skill and you can tell that worker to stuff it somewhere else. So I think that's going to be really good for organizing materials.
Yeah.
For the nodes. So I think that's going to be a pretty big one for a lot of people who utilize the node empire a lot. So.
Yeah, my biggest problem with it is that I spent like 3 or 4 years making this worker empire on the basis on the basis that I could only feed them once to twice a day, and that giants were definitely the play because I can never remember to do anything. So like, and now they're gonna make it so that you can auto feed, and all of my giants are useless. Is it a phenomenal change for the game? Absolutely. Should they not give it to us? No, like they should still give it to us, but what they need to realize, and I hope that they realize it, there's no way that they don't, right? Is that they're making humans and giants completely useless.
They need to buff them, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, how would you buff them? How would you buff
That's exactly what I was about to ask you. I actually don't know. Like, I think that maybe you give giants and humans special skills that only those two workers can learn.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe you make humans, like, give them actual relevant amounts of, like, humans are guaranteed to bring back traces or something. You know, like, like they can learn skills that are guaranteed to bring back traces, things like that. Giants, I don't even know what a giant skill might look like.
Maybe they just yield more because they are, they're big and they can hold more things, so
yeah, that was the exact thought I just had about it too. Was humans are always guaranteed to get the secondary whatever from the node, like traces, and giants just gather way more of the primary than the goblins, and then the goblins are just the fastest. Maybe you do something like that to balance them out.
Yeah, but then like
goblins. Go ahead.
Yeah, but then like why even specify having different types of workers? If you even them all out, like I just don't know. Like it was balanced before because like, okay, yeah, you had to, if you feed them at different increments, they're differently effective, or they're varyingly effective. But like if you make the giants gather more on each run, but the runs take longer, but essentially they're equivalent to the goblin, then the two are interchangeable. And and honestly, I'd be okay with that. But if they just launch it to live the way that it is, I'm going to be upset. Because I have 102 workers and probably 70 of them are giants. And like I have like 5 goblins because every time I got a goblin, I was like, this is garbage. I was like, no, I don't know, man. Like they definitely need to buff it. There's people in the chat for the listeners that can't see. There's people saying that humans and giants should be used in workshops, and I would say that that's garbage. Just because how many workshops? Okay, between the three of us, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that none of us have any current workshops running that workers actually have to use.
No, I don't.
Not currently. I do actually make matchlocks regularly, though.
You do?
Yep.
Okay,
the intelligent people in the call don't do these things. I'm just kidding. Wait, you make matchlocks?
Would you like my tech? I'm about to drop some. Drop some tech.
Hit me with the tech.
Okay. So what you do is you make artisan matchlocks. Okay. Now you need artisan plus matchlocks in order to make master matchlocks. Now, normally it is not worth to make artisan matchlocks to +10 because it requires so many mats and so much repair material to actually get them to +10, so that then you can use them to make the master ones. But if you're sitting on a buku of artisan memories with no use for them, you can make about 700 mil off a +7 masterwork matchlock, which there's like our +7 to 10, which there's always like 30 orders up for. So what you do is you just wait until you have a bunch of artisan memories, and then you just enhance a bunch of master matchlocks and sell them all to the market. It's like free 30 bill.
But you're wasting all of your artisan. You say free.
What are you using artisans for, Blue?
Anything. Artisans are useful for like literally every aspect of the game.
You don't have to do green sub weapons anymore because those are going to be a thing in the past. You only have the boss sub weapons to do. So the only real boss weapons that you're going to be using are black stars, right? And maybe I'm biased because I have my tri-dead god already, but and the dead god. What else are you using artisans for?
Back up for a minute.
How often do you make those enhancements?
Let's just back up for just one moment. I just want to make sure that mentally that you're safe. You said that you use artisans on your green offense?
No. I'm saying No, that's not what I'm saying.
God damn, that would have been the clip of a lifetime. I was so ready.
That's not what I meant.
So ready. Oh man. Oh god, I was like, there's so many jokes here.
Once you get your pen boss weapon offhand, you're done. And those, I don't feel like you're not tapping those all the time. I mean,
okay,
I've had mine for forever.
All right, so like maybe, all right, so workshops could just get reworked. Maybe instead, like, so they could give humans and giants some super giga cracked workshop stuff where like maybe every once in a while your human, with the luck that it has, cranks out an extra matchlock for free with no materials required. Like, you know, that's not going to be that busted overall, and it would make it would definitely buff an aspect of the game that's kind of just feels like dead content right now, right, guys?
It's probably because I'm the only guy that makes matchlocks on the server, but yeah.
Well, I mean, like, there's a few people, but like, I mean, there's a lot of uses. Like, I used to be all into the workshop stuff. I love being like a craftsman and like making stuff. So like the functional clothes, particularly, I was super into making like gathering clothes and cooking clothes and fishing clothes and all that, and selling them to enhancing them and selling to the market or whatever I was gonna do. But after a while, you just get old and you just don't want to do it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just getting too old for this shit. I don't want to do it anymore. Like it used to be like back in the day. You guys might not remember this, but long ago when Sausons and pirates were a thing, one of the best ways to make money in the whole game was to go gather at like rhinos and have there was a workshop in Alta Nova that you could have that was like a rank 5 workshop that allowed you to craft Grunil. And you could craft Grunil and sell it to the marketplace for max price, basically, because everybody needed Grunil at the time. And that was an excellent way to make money. But like since then, workshops have kind of fallen off and they're basically useless now. Like it's easier to just go grind. Do you make money off the workshops? Absolutely. But typically it's just going to be easier to go grind. Now I don't doubt that your monopoly of artisan matchlocks that you are selling in the market.
It's not artisans, it's masters.
I'm sorry, the master matchlocks.
Artisans are just a stepping stone.
Okay.
Hey, don't judge.
I'm not. Okay. But your monopoly of that definitely makes you some money. But like most of the time, I think the workshops are basically useless. And I would love to have them buff them in such a way that like the workers felt meaningful for workshop. Like, and it's got to be me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like the change that I proposed earlier, where like humans every once in a while crank out like an extra resource. Honestly, I think humans should just do that all the time. Just make that all the time. Like you get 2 crafts for the price of 1 for a human work, because that's what it's gonna take to make like those,
make the new system work. To
make it work, right? Yeah. And then then what do you do with giants? Like I just thought maybe giants have to use less materials. Like maybe depending on the worker type that you're using, you have to use less stuff to craft the same stuff, like to craft the same things. Like, I don't know, because then I feel like the recipe gets super hairy. I don't know what you do with giants. Humans is pretty obvious. You could just buff the crap out of luck and run with it. But giants, man, I'm not really sure what you're gonna do with that.
Yeah. So I'm excited that we're getting the auto feed option. I appreciate that a lot. But you're 100% right. Honestly, don't take it away from us now. It's on G Labs, please. I want
don't listen to Blue. We need that.
But I was like, but it does. Yeah, Blue's absolutely right. We do need to like fix it a little bit so that the other workers are actually useful again, because it will just be, everybody will only want goblins. The humans and giants will be completely irrelevant with auto feed. So no, it's an absolutely incredible quality of life change. They just need to make sure they cover their bases on it.
All right, we should move into closing thoughts and outro. So Jay, I'm gonna let you do this first. Is there anything you didn't get to, Jay? Or anything you want to talk about? Like, what's the most exciting thing you're excited about for this that we talked about?
Woosa Awakening.
Yes.
I mean, I've been maining Woosa since she came out, and it's been like 6-7 months since her succession came out. So I'm definitely excited to try out a new playstyle, maybe a more support playstyle in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah, very excited. And Jake, can go ahead and do your outro now too.
Oh,
Bang
hi,
it out.
my name is Jakun VT. I apologize to my viewers for like all the OBS troubles. You can watch it more consistently on Blue's channel. But I do a lot of party
Or
content
Tiltus?
on my channel. Or Tiltus, yes.
Thanks, Jake.
God,
That was for the beta witch
he
comment.
actually just
Man. Yes. Hi. Yes. Thank you for hi. Yeah. My name is Jake and VT, and that's my intro.
Jay, you don't have to keep. Jay's like, I have to keep talking. I have to fill the space. I have to fill the space. It's okay. You can just pass it to Tiltus. Just pass it over, Jay. You're out of things.
Yeah, I'm most excited about. We didn't talk about it this week, but I'm most excited about Battlefield Siege being back.
Oh.
I'm so excited. And then I'm excited that we're getting Land of the Morning Light way earlier than we expected. I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to come out and go through it blind and just enjoy it for what it is. But I am Tiltus TV. I'm supposed to stream Tuesday through Sunday. Monday is my only off day, but I shot call most of those days. And I currently am trying to get I'm currently trying to get it to where I'll do a full armored shot calling Node War, because I do medieval MMA as well. So if you want to see me put on a full set of armor and shot call and die by the end of it, definitely make sure you drop me a follow somewhere. But yeah, I'm the shot caller for Solace. We're hopefully doing T1s and T2s now, and looking at Siege on Battlefield some as well. So I'm super excited about Battlefield Siege being back.
Yeah, I didn't see you there this week.
Yeah, we decided, well, number one, we're casual too, so I didn't want to like jump it on everybody. Hey, we're doing Siege this week. Good luck, everybody else. And number two, with it being new, I assumed the lag was still going to be bad because everody and their mom was going to go there.
Perfect, bro.
Which
Go.
didn't happen, actually.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
It's literally just fate, bro. You can fight them, bro. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like, okay, yeah, and I am Blue Squadron. We're always doing fun stuff on this channel. Thing I'm most excited about is definitely Land of the Morning Light. I'm super excited about that. I just started playing Woosa, but I'll be honest with you, I like the Succession. I love beating the crap out of people with a fan. Is a tremendous amount of fun. But yeah, Land of the Morning Light, definitely the thing I'm most excited about. Like I said, we're always doing fun things on this channel. This Saturday, we're going to have Siege. We qualified this week. We're good. Sunday is the big day this week. I'm making a Serendia meal IRL on stream.
I'm so excited to watch that.
That is going to be content. We've already made a Balanos meal once before, so the Serendia meal is going to be even better. It's going to be a unit, because I'm looking at how I'm going to throw this stuff together, and it is not. Like, I don't know what the developers were thinking. There's no butter, but they want me to make cookies. Like, I don't, like... absolutely miserable, but like it's gonna be absolute content. So again, twitch.tv/Blue Squadron. Don't miss a second of it. Monday is always Fun Day Monday, and as always, you get the Old Moon podcast on Tuesday. Guys, don't forget that we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so go drop us a follow on Spotify. It goes a long way, and you can always listen to this content, whether it be on YouTube, my YouTube. I know I post it right away after we're done here. I know Jay gets around to it when he gets around to it. So he also posted on his YouTube. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, we're everywhere. So like, you can always listen to this. The idea behind this content is that you can basically listen to BDO content, meaningful, fun conversations about the game that we all love on the go, whether you be at work or at school or what have you. So yeah, just make sure you drop us a follow there. That is going to go ahead and be a wrap for episode 9 of the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and do one of these so that I know when to cut it in the YouTube. Shut up. Shut up. I need this.
No, it's so good. Please keep that in the YouTube video version of it. Blue.
I need to know. Okay.
Somebody clip Blue and just make that into a meme of him flying. With the
I
air
have like
balloons or
sweaty
something in
pits
BDO.
right now. It's not fair. Damn it! I'm just trying to make my life easier, Tiltus. Why do you have to do this to me?
I can't let you do that and just let it go. Come on.
God.
You know me better than that. Hey, next week's episode 10. We made it. Woo!
Hey, woo! Yeah,
Double
we're
digits.
huge. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for episode 9. We will see you guys next week.
Hey,
Right.
later, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Son of a... They got me, bro. They got me. Damn, your pits is hairy. What do you mean? There's no hair there. They're just sweaty. Great stream. Thanks so much, Swaggy. Guys, thank you for the subs. Flecking it up. Here, I gotta bring the music down. Flecking it up, Olodak, Vampiric. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome back to the squadron. I really appreciate that continued support. I know I can't really talk about it while the podcast is going on, but I promise you it doesn't make it any less worthwhile for me. I really appreciate it. This weekend, guys, is going to be content into more content. Make sure that you guys are in the Discord, on the YouTube. Like, it is gonna be Saturday Siege, Blue's just screaming at people. Sunday I'm making an IRL like Serendia stream, and there's gonna be giveaways for it too, so I'm gonna be giving away outfits as well. We're gonna be hyping up the Woosa release. Then on Monday we've got Fun Day Monday. On Tuesday we've got the Old Moon podcast every single day, back to back content, to make sure you guys don't miss it. All right, who are we throwing it over to tonight? Normally I throw it over to Jay. I guess I'm throwing it over to Jay. I think he's still, although I don't know if he's still streaming, because he was really having some problems there. Yeah, he's not streaming right now. So let me see if there's a guild member, someone I can hit up. Taiku is streaming. Okay, Taiku is not streaming BDO, but I don't care. Taiku deserves this raid. Flying, stop it. If that makes it to Pistanity, I will find you. In game, of course. Chill. No, Tiltus is, I asked Tiltus. Tiltus is going to bed, so he can't do it. Guys, I love you so much. I will see you on Saturday for Siege, Sunday for the IRL Cooking Serendia stream and giveaways, Monday for Fun Day Monday, and Tuesday for the Old Moon podcast on Tuesday. I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. I love you, Dog Bones.